Hi everyone, you're watching FX. In this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week for main pairs, and we will be looking at important levels and possible entry points as usual based on my strategy. And this week I hope you had really good trades and it was a lot of noise around Brexit, so hopefully you were looking at pound. And we'll be looking at what happened this week and, of course, what to look for the coming week. So just will be not very long week. Okay, and of course, like I'm always trying to remind you before you start your trading week, don't forget to check for any financial and political events, okay, for in the countries, the pairs which you're going to trade. So we're starting the EURUSD as usual. So you can see this is 1 hour chart, and as you remember, this is where the week we had the beginning and the end of previous week. That's the channel I was telling you, wait for consolidation. So here would have been your channel, and here would be your trade, okay, and possibly continuation of the trade breakout from the channel. So that's what I'm trying to show you, the levels, right? So and now we have a little bit of this kind of consolidation, but around this level, and you can see that on Friday it stopped around this area, and I would wait now for some consolidation in here, and then of course if it will give us something similar like a channel, then it's going to be a good area back to this level, okay, or go back or continue the way down to the next level. So you remember when we were looking at previous, it was expected that possibly would be head and shoulders, so it's pretty much finished itself, and that's why at this point, of course, and it is in the uptrend channel, and here you can see that level, the support level in here. So that's why this movement, of course, it can either turn around or have some consolidation, maybe like creation of the flag, you know, and continue the way down, of course. So that's why, again, looking for possibilities, placing the orders both directions. So, but we are starting with the consolidation in this area. So I'm going to show you a little bit bigger chart, so you can see that that other blue level, you can see on the smaller chart, it's right here, it's too far, so ignore it. If you have the same, like I'm saying right now, if you see it, okay, in daily chart, again, it's far from that area, but on the smaller charts, like on the 4-hour chart, it's somewhere around, so it's not here. Just ignore that level. We are concentrating on this horizontal. They're more accurate. So as I'm saying, if it will be a consolidation, maybe like a flag, I'm saying, then possibly return to this area once again, or continuation to this area. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at. And of course, then we have another level here, and the previous red level up here, and all the consolidations around all of those levels. Just ignore this one on the smaller charts. It's not there. It's just how it's MT4 is not showing correctly on the smaller charts. You see on the 1-hour chart, it's far away here. See. So now we're going to pound dollar, and that's what I was telling you. We have noise about Brexit, and you have lots of possibilities to trade while we have Brexit in the air, and that's where you see the Monday move. And where did we move? We moved up, okay, so, and that would have been a breaking up point before the news. Remember, there was news, so that's the nice movement you could have catch, and you can see it's moved back into the orange area. Remember, you were asking me, why do I have this orange area? This is just the area where we had the most concentration. You can see of the candles here. We had bottoms, we had a bit of the mess here, then we had the tops of the previous candle, so that's why I highlighted as a big yellow area. So and you can see it was stopped by that and turned around. So right now I'm just showing you the bigger chart. It's daily. We are in a downtrend channel, okay, so we're still in downtrend channel, and that could possibly be a correction inside it, and we are quite close to the level, so it might continue its way to get to it and then turn around. Who knows, maybe we'll get there, have consolidation and try to break it, but at this moment we're still in here in the channel, and that's why in the smaller time frames we can see I have all the levels, okay, and I tried to put this possible correction inside the channel, right, into this trend a bit of the channel. And of course now we'll be just waiting. I need that just in case if it might have some consolidation and we'll be trying to break and would be possibly stop somewhere here, not reaching the orange area. Okay, so if it will do so, it's because possibly of that level. So that's why I need it just in case, right, to see and protect the trades. So at this moment we're here, and of course I would wait for, maybe it will do some consolidation like previously, maybe between these two levels, or would just continue the way down, and then we'll see. Maybe it will consolidate around that level, maybe it will break and will be between that level and the top of the orange channel. So, and of course it might go back and then consolidate around this area, or go again and get to this area. So you can see all of these levels, that's what I need them for, just to see where the market will go, in which level it will choose. And then just as usual thing, we will wait for some consolidation or possible creation of any patterns or anything, but these are the levels at this moment I will be looking at for this coming week. So dollar yen, let's go bigger picture once again to have a look. So we had a big drop, and as expected, remember, yeah, expectation was of correction, of course, of such a huge drop, and this is what is happening at this moment. We are in a correction, so we are in uptrend channel right now. So I could try to put it inside, and it's been moving. So here we were, and you can see it's been moving slightly and continue now to the next level. You can see the breaking point would have been here, these tops. Okay, so that would be your entry point. Okay, so for the buy orders, and of course a little bit of this down for the sell orders, pending orders. Okay, so it's moved up now, and what I would wait for, of course, that level, and see if it will consolidate, maybe underneath it, maybe, but anyway, around this area. And of course it can, well, it had a little bit of a good movement, so after that it might go back down again to this level, or maybe it will continue its way inside the channel. But the first I will be looking at that red level first to look at. Okay, and of course don't forget the news. I'm telling you, American news, you see how slowly it was just continue way up, because the most of news were around Brexit and everybody were concentrating, so we had lots of movement on pound, pairs with pound and pairs with like dollar and like dollar yen. You see they were not huge, but slow motion, let's say, right? So here slowly got in here, and I'll just wait. Okay, so either go back or continue the way up, consolidation and waiting for something again, or consolidation and waiting for something again. So that's we are concentrating on this place. And of course, if we will look on a bigger, see how it's quite strong area. Of course, like I'm saying, it might not break it exactly and will turn around. But right now, just waiting for some consolidation. Okay. Australian dollar we're going now. Okay, so we had a good, once again, big drop and of course correction, and on a bigger chart it was looking like a little bit of a double bottom. So, and it's at this moment here it doesn't show anything exactly, but we do have a little bit possibly looking like a flag, a bullish flag, yeah, and going in a smaller chart where it's more visible. So it's quite possible it is. So for the best right now, what I would be looking at, like I see again, it didn't have big movements once again, so it wasn't very important anything for Australian or for dollar. So I would rather see that movement to go and consolidate between these two levels. Okay, the narrower it is, the better, because the more distance to the next level. Okay, so if it will consolidate and enough distance to go and continue the way down, if it will decide to go into the downtrend. Okay, so maybe it had enough of correction, it will just continue down, or maybe it will give us a double top, a double bottom, and that's going to end up a the bullish flag, and of course it might break up, then continue some consolidation and continue its way, because here would be our neck of the double bottom. Okay, so if we'll just go on a bigger chart, that's where we will see that's our one bottom, that's possibly another bottom, and that would be the target area from that movement. Okay, so that's pretty much it with Australian dollar. So first of all, we'll just concentrate to see what's going to happen. So that's what I'm saying, that would be the best. If not, then if it will go down, then of course I will just see if it will do some concentration around the area. I will not place the order straight away to sell and buy, because you can see the spikes, okay, the wings. That's why it's kind of a little bit could be dangerous, so that's why I'll just wait for a bit more consolidation. Okay, dollar Canadian, dollar CAD was pretty messy here. Remember, I could draw a little bit of the levels, but it didn't create anything reasonable. It was moving in between the levels, then jumping down, jumping up, jumping down again, and a lot of wings. So it was also not something important wise. And right now, I could try to put it a little bit on possibly like we were expecting correction. Remember, I told you after such a big movement, of course, I would expect some correction, and that's what happened. It's trying to correcting, and possibly in a bearish flag. Okay, so it might continue go. Remember, I was placing previously Fibonacci level, so we can see how far I can go. Of course, I can go up to this level, and maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. But at this moment, we're in this channel, right, and possibly flag. So what to look on the smaller charts, right? We understand the bigger picture, we know all of this, but go for smaller charts, not for long-term trading, looking at the areas. I mean, of course, there were some breakouts here and could possibly to go for like just 10 pips or something, but I would have said wouldn't risk it while there was more news on the other pairs like for pound. So here you see I have a little bit of levels, but again it's a little bit not very nice. So it would be some good news for dollar or Canadian, so possibly to look a possible consolidation between these two levels, and then it would be enough space to go to the level of the trend, right? But of course don't forget about this area. We still have this danger that could be again chaotic movements, jumps, downs, not reaching it or overreaching it. So protect yourself. Don't forget, if you got into the trade moving, try just to move your stop loss, okay, and take 10 pips at least, because at this moment, if there is nothing, could be all this wings and spikes again. And the same here, if it will try to break down and you have this level, so I'll probably maybe just wait a little bit more to see if it's going to be nice, something nice it will give. If not, if it will have, if it will be messy, then I probably would just not look at it again, like this week, for example. I wouldn't go into any trades with dollar CAD, but just wait a little bit more for something nice or a bit more reasonable consolidation without these wings, okay? But the main picture, you understand what I'm trying to say. So euro pound, we're going here. We will remember I was telling you for waiting some consolidation around this level. So it's created kind of looking a little bit like a double bottom. And of course, with the news for pound, with Brexit, this could have been your a bit of the neck area. If you would wanted to go for this trade, then you can see you could have get at least like 10 pips out, and it's touched the orange area once again, which is where we have the most of the candles. That's why it's pretty much stopped here and turned around. For me, I probably wouldn't go into this trade because I didn't really like this much, but it's a possibility. So here would be possibly a next trade as a consolidation, but for me, I wouldn't go into this also because I do really like to consolidation around this level. So I was waiting for the market to go into here and start consolidation, but it's broke. But now it came back and started to sit in the area I was looking at first place. So which means, of course, again here I would wait for some consolidation, and now it's a good distance, a possible continuation of downtrend to the next level, or a possible return and correction and go back to this level. I don't want to at this point to try to put it in some channel because it's very high here, nothing much to touch around there, and also here is not reasonable. That's why I just wait and see, go to the next area, consolidate here and see a possible return again, maybe go back down and this area, and of course if it will, for example, go back up here to see if it's going to consolidate, and of course I would see and continue that orange channel and see what, well, let's just do it now, just to see if it will try maybe to go back inside there again. So let's see a bigger picture. Probably weekly would be nicer. You'll see where the orange level came from. You see I'm using, this is the main trend level. Remember that I was telling you that I can see that it possibly sitting between this level, not like looking like a bit of triangle. So that's why I have the first possibility for me would be, of course, of this turning around and still sitting there before something happens, right? Which we would expect somewhere closer to spring with the Brexit. With Brexit news, unless there is something unexpected with Europe, right? But we're right now in exactly going into the right direction. So still in here in this triangle. That's why that level, like I'm saying, it might go to this level, but I would expect, of course, turning around first if nothing would happen. So it would be just technically, not using like fundamental, okay? But as you can see, it's going to at this moment is expected. So gold, look at this gold. I could put it into the triangle, right? Remember we started with the first possibility, and then it's broke, then it started to create something else, and it's broke slightly, and then it gave us a little bit of the triangle area. Here would have been your entry point. You see, it was absolutely perfect, no wings, no mess, no noise. So here would be your entry, and well, at that point I would say, for example, I could have maybe stay in this trade until it will go continue the way down. Just move the stops, wouldn't come out from the trade. Of course, if they open in the market, it might jump or turn around, but if you would have moved stops, you wouldn't. You would be all right, okay? For example, because I would say still that would have been the target area. But anyway, so that's why right now with gold you can't see any entry points, okay? Because now as it's broke, it's a waiting time, so it's either can continue the way down to this level, which I will be waiting for some consolidation here. That would be nice and smooth, and at the same time, of course, as it's broke, it might have a bit of reverse, a bit of correction, and go back. So if it will go back up and started to give maybe the flag once again, right, then I will see the area, so it would be a good distance back to this level again and to that level, okay? So you understand. So if it will go a little bit higher like this, then enough. And of course, placing the orders both direction, because of course at one point it might just continue the way, just broke out from the triangle. But like I'm saying, in Forex you don't know exactly where it's going to go. And once again, the levels are crossing. You see on the bigger chart, that level didn't touch it, okay? So it didn't get to that area yet. So and of course after that it might go back inside this trend channel, or of course it might continue and get to this red level. So but at this point, like I said, the entry point is already was this week, so just waiting time again, okay? So just waiting time. As you see on the small, you can see if it will go like a channel, you have enough space to get to this level and to this level. If it will start to consolidate straight, it's not very good because it's too close to this level for me, is I would say. But just see what's going to happen next. And pound yen. Also, like the news view about pound, so this is where you could have looked for entry points. Here we had the previous week, right? It was moving a little bit higher, and so here we go. We had the area, right? So previously we had this channel, so it moved up a little bit and was breaking the levels with all the news. So and here, as you can see, back into the area with the channel, so that would have been your entry point for the first move, right? Then let's go back inside, and this could have been your trade, another trade, okay? So using that channel, okay? So the previous one, okay? So that's pretty much it was quite easy and good on pound this week. And so what's now to expect? I have this level just to see where that movement now would go. Of course, I tried to put it inside the uptrend. Of course, like remember, such a big drop and have correction. It's a really huge move actually. And at this moment, like on the bigger time frames, it kind of doesn't show much anything. I mean, it might be looking like it was a bit of the shoulder, maybe it's the head, and so upside down head and shoulders in expectation of a possible continuation of, but it's not very nice and not very clear because this drop was huge, and I wouldn't look at it just yet as a signal that it might go all the way up. So that's why I would just see, because it's all going to be Brexit, and then it's Brexit happening, it's such a news, right, political news, it's not going with the levels. But on the smaller charts, once again, preparing for anything possible. So we're still far away from the level, we are inside the channel. So in here it possibly can go down, right? So then if it will stop by this level. I will see if it will start to consolidate around it, or if it will just drop and ignore it. And of course, I would look at that level. Maybe it will just go back inside again and start to be some consolidation into the channel, like previously it was quite wide, a long consolidation, remember. So that's pretty much we found yen, just a bit of the waiting time, and of course it might go back once again. So if it will have, well, depends if you would want to go for trade, so maybe it will just some consolidation like this between the levels. Again, you look, it's 80 pips up and about 80 pips down, right? So then you can consider that small movement in here and placing the orders. And but going here, of course, it would be enough. You need to see where it's going to consolidate, so enough space to the level, or if it will be trying to break it, of course, don't forget to protect yourself and then return here. So it quite can possibly go back here and like slow, like I'm saying, consolidating, break, consolidating, break. So all the levels like you see on the screen, and of course if it will continue the way up, some consolidation, nice, and it possibly can continue and reach finally the, well, about this area. You have level, but this will be area slightly higher, slightly lower, somewhere. Of course, you might have a stop somewhere in the middle, but that's the picture at this moment. So that's all my thoughts for this coming week, and a little bit of what happened previously. And if you like the video useful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and happy trading. I see you next week. Bye, everyone.